Okay, hey everyone, this is Mombi. Let's go and take a look around Twitter and see all the hashtags and everything that is being shared amongst Pakistanis on Twitter, the hashtags that are making waves, and the people who are retweeting them. And a lovely morning, let us go and take a look around Twitter. Okay, so there is one hashtag that Pakistanis are sharing right now at this point in time on Twitter, and the hashtag is Ladkiyon ke gham, which means things that girls worry about, basically. Hashtags where most people who are just retweeting it say, you're worried about, women are worried about nail polish or clothes or gaining weight or something. So the fact that a hashtag like this is trending when the situation for women is so bad and the focus is completely on things that don't matter at all, it is incredibly disappointing. I personally hope a lot of Pakistani women take to Twitter to retweet this hashtag and kind of point out, we're not really worried about that stuff as much as we are of assault, which is a constant worry for Pakistanis, or of being homeless because most Pakistani women don't own any property at all, that kind of stuff. There's a really interesting hashtag that is trending right now on Twitter and it's being shared amongst Pakistani users on Twitter, mostly amongst the journalistic crowd, and the hashtag itself is UNDP. Apparently, the man who served as the director of the UNDP in Pakistan for the past 4 years, he was interviewed by I think some Business Insider magazine, and he went into kind of a rant about how Pakistan is suffering very much because a lot of the money or people who are in possession of major wealth in the country don't invest, and as a result of which those people, according to the UNDP director, was very critical and said Pakistan is in really dire straits. There are areas in Pakistan, for instance Fata, that are pretty much like living back in the 17th century, and the conditions, there are other parts of the country, he says I've visited most parts of the country which are, the conditions are not like sub-Saharan Africa, and you can't really expect a country to survive where 40% of the population lives in conditions of extreme poverty. Well, normally you have to say, whenever you hear a white man talking about their experiences in a South Asian country, you kind of think, well, you don't really know what is going on. Or normally reports like this about the country, especially by rich, privileged white males, you tend to kind of take them with a pinch of salt. You're not really inclined to believe them because there's always this feeling you don't really know what is going on. But in this case, so many Pakistanis are agreeing with him whenever they're retweeting the hashtag and saying this is pretty much the most accurate summing up of the situation. And there are definitely some amazing, wonderful people in Pakistan, but unless you're lucky enough to have been born into their family and come into contact with them, you fall back on the society, and the society itself will not help you. And I think that's what this guy is saying ultimately, that you have to take responsibility and you have to have ownership for the country in order to make it go somewhere. And he has decided to pick on maybe the wealthiest people in Pakistan because they're most in position to implement change. Well, what he said has definitely resonated, and there are a lot of people who are retweeting this all across social media, Pakistanis, and I have yet to really see a post where people say he is absolutely off the mark, this is not true. Almost everyone has to agree Pakistanis, yes, what he mentions is very serious.